Have you ever wished you could introduce your children to another language without pressure, without worksheets, or overwhelm? Today's guest has created something really special, a children's book series that blends storytelling, culture, and language learning in a way that feels completely natural and joyful. I'm joined by actress, storyteller, and author Fernanda Romero, creator of the Pachi and Sebastian series, starting with Colores del Mundo, a beautiful bilingual adventure that introduces children to both Spanish and English through friendship, travel, and discovery. If you are raising curious kids, or if you've ever thought about bilingual learning in your homeschool, you're going to love this conversation. Fernanda, welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such an honor to be here and to be listened by your fellow mamas. And
Yes.
yes, this is a book that I feel like a lot of moms, especially if you want to start your kids with the introduction or being bilingual, it's a great book to start, and especially because it opens their imagination into what's more than the US and traveling through colors, and kind of gives you a glimpse, a little bit of what is the world and their surroundings. And it's really beautiful. Kids get really excited when I do a book reading.
Yeah, when I was reading it, I felt like it wasn't just language learning, vocabulary, and colors, colores del mundo, but it was also continents, it
Mhm.
was animals, and
Mhm.
everything rhymes in English and in Spanish.
I love that you catch that too. Yes. I notice with my kids, in order to teach them something, even words when they're beginning with their first words, music is such a big thing to introduce them to. And I'm also a musician as well. So when I started this journey with one of my best friends, who's my fellow partner in music, I said, we got to do some kids stuff, and introducing them. The best way to learn is through, sounds, rhythm. And it's true. They just memorize things better. They make it as a fun part. And, how, like, moms at home, we struggle for them to be learning things. Well, you have to try by having a rhythm or music, and they just learn it fast.
Hmm. So let's start at the beginning. What inspired you to create the Pachi and Sebastian series, and why was it important for you to make it bilingual and explain to us who Pachi is and who Sebastian is?
So, what inspired me pretty much was my kids and the struggle of me trying to find more bilingual books, and especially a character that was going to be growing up with my kids. So that's why I created. It was an instant need at my home, and I said, well, I have to create something. And I created for my now 7-year old, and we created Pachi. It was like an imaginary friend. And through him, we started to do tasks at home. It started with a puppet. And then this puppet, which is Pachi, was learning with him and was helping me to do the tasks at home and homework. And I was like, this is such an incredible impact. He's doing everything I ask because of this character. So then that kind of let my imagination fly, and then through music and everything, Pachi, the imaginary friend, started with a puppet, and then Sebastian, which is my son. It is him. So it is based actually kind of like in a true story. And that's how everything started, and how I teach my son, through rhymes, through music. So I wanted to share this book, especially to other moms, because I saw the impact firsthand. And I'm like, I have to give back. I have to do it for the rest of the moms. And hopefully they can, start teaching their kids also to be bilingual in a very fun way.
Hmm. Very good. So Pachi is the raccoon, and he
Yes.
symbolizes your son. And
No, no,
Sebastian,
no. Pachi, no. It was actually
Pachi, go
it
ahead.
was a puppet that I started using around the house.
Oh, okay.
And then this puppet became alive and then became this character. And this is Sebastian, which is my
Sebastian.
son. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then, I started to be, okay, I gotta do something with these adventures because I will take the puppet everywhere. We will go on trips and Pachi will come with us.
Uh-huh.
And Pachi will have an opinion and Pachi will learn together. And I just thought such a great impact it had with my kid that I was like,
Okay.
okay, I need to do more.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. So one thing I love about the book, and I also have bilingual books, and there's one in English and Spanish, and it's about a cat. It's a true
Okay.
story. And
Mhm.
the thing about these stories that come from reality is that they flow naturally,
Yes.
and there's nothing forced about that. And how did it feel for you to write and approach writing in a way that helps children absorb a second language without it feeling like learning?
Not making it too complicated, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm making it fun because the more we complicate things, I find it that the less retention. But when you find the game and fun, and I see it with my readings, then they engage, then it makes it easier for them. And also, they can memorize things faster.
Yeah, and so if you've got a parent who lives in the United States, they kind of feel intimidated by Spanish because maybe they took 2 years of Spanish and they don't remember anything
Hmm.
other than, I don't know,
Yeah, the
so,
basic.
something, yeah. Um, how could they use this book as a simple starting point with, smaller children? Obviously, it's a picture book, it's for younger children.
Yeah, well, definitely, is like I said, is the beginning of the basics things. This is actually going to be hopefully launching in this year more cartoons on YouTube for basic stuff, for learning, how to say hello, to goodbye, to basic things to make the kids and even the parents to make them feel comfortable and practice
Yeah.
together for because I feel that how you start picking up on languages, me speaking from my own experience being Spanish, my first language, is practicing on a daily basis, the basic needs. When you need something, that's when your Spanish flows.
Yeah.
So, and another thing that we have to remember that nowadays being bilingual, trilingual, we're just only doing, um, putting our kids into an advantage. But because the day of tomorrow, nowadays, is just going to be an asset for them.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. More than obviously, I'm proud of where I come from. More, I see it as something that they're going to be using in the future for a job, for a thing, because I lived it in firsthand. So I'm like, I want to pass it on to me and to future generations.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to remind our viewers if they have not watched my TEDx talk on multilingualism, it's available on YouTube, and you just have to type UTK for University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And the year
Hmm.
was 2016. So my name and UTK,
Okay.
TEDx, and multilingualism. I think I called it Dracula and multilingualism because
Mhm.
I was born in Transylvania, and Dracula was a prince who spoke multiple languages.
I mean, when you're European, you know that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Oh my
You don't
God,
have to be a prince.
oh my God, exactly. No, no, no. Now I think is the currency. I think it's if it's something that we can gift for our kids, not it would be that it's language that we can just do it. And for me, I don't want parents to be struggling with like you have to learn this. How do you say it? Like I wanted to do it fun, dynamic, and easy. And you know what? My kids have been the most judgmental. Kids have no filter. So I was very nervous when I did the book at the beginning. And I'm like, oh my God. And when I got it and their impression was like, I was like, okay, I passed the test. Then it's ready to be shown to the rest of the world. Yes.
Yes. Yes, that's the toughest crowd.
Exactly. The kids are the toughest crowd. They have no filter, which is fantastic because they will tell you it is not nice, it's not cool, or you don't get the retention. And that is, I think is, yeah, priceless.
We're about to get back to the show, but I want to also remind my viewers that if they want to get a little bit more organized, they can go to homeschoolways.com. That's my blog, homeschoolways.com/organized. And I have several free resources to get a hold of your routine and your schedule for your homeschool. Now, back to our talk with Fernanda Romero. I would like to know more about Pachi the raccoon. So he's fun, he's lovable. Everybody loves a raccoon. How did you come up with him? I think you kind of covered a bit on that. And what role does he play in helping children connect with the story and the language?
Well, first it started somehow, let's go really back. Raccoons have been in my life. Like when I moved here to the States, I was living in Westwood by UCLA, and I had a whole family of raccoons sneaking into my apartment. No joke.
Sneaking in.
Yes, yes. One time I came and my whole kitchen was filled with little paws all over, and the bag of my dog, my dog's food was all spilled out. I mean, they had a blast, and I'm like, oh my God. And then later I found out that I had a huge family going underneath the building. It was this old building, and I had more than 7 raccoons living there. And I love them, and I will watch them. They always come at the same time. And, the mom, the dad, and then these little tiny things, and they make cute noise.
Yeah.
So I always find them very interesting because they come at night. They love to do adventures or nutty things. They eat everything I have around. And I don't know, I just had affinity for them. And they have that little disguise like in the eyes, like a little thief.
Like a
But
Zorro.
El Zorro, yes. So then I thought, kids, what is the best time when they let their imagination go? It's a bedtime, right? And I remember when I was a kid, always, oh my God, I want to dream about this and this. And I go to this toy store, but now I'm going to really remember, I'm going to hold really tight to that toy that I dreamt, and I'm going to wake up with him, But dreaming, it was always like flying. And I love that part of being a kid. So I thought, this raccoon meets Sebastian, and they just start to be friends. And this raccoon comes from, because at the beginning, the idea was for a cartoon that he comes from extraterrestrial outer space, but he's in a raccoon, and they go always at night into this adventure. And every time, the whole point is that they learn something new. It's bilingual and brings great values into now society that I think is needed. More
Hmm.
cartoons with great values, great things that it helps us as parents to be okay. That cartoon you can watch because I know at the end of the day it has a good message and gives me peace, and my son's learning as well. So I wanted something like that, and that's how Pachi came alive, pretty much.
Yes, and I want to congratulate you for obviously you're perfectly bilingual, so it was maybe it was easier for you to find rhyming words into Spanish and English at the same time. But how did the whole process, the creative process happen? Did you write it in English and then you translated it looking for the right words in Spanish, or the other way around?
It was kind of both, in between. That's the thing when you're so bilingual at this point, and that's what I do. It comes very natural. I switch back and forth and it
Hmm.
flows. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess now if I'm doing something in English, I might just write it just in English, and then I just go in Spanish and tweak it, because not if you go into the exact translation, not every word is exactly like the English because it doesn't
Yes.
rhyme.
Yes.
So that was a thing. So, I had to do little tweaks here and there.
The way I wrote my bilingual book was I wrote it in English And
Yeah.
then I translated it into my native tongue, which is Romanian. But after that,
Okay.
I got myself five different people for Danish and German
Oh
and
my goodness.
Spanish and Russian. You know, I had all these other language translators, and
Wow.
we didn't get to rhyme it into the target language. It doesn't
It,
even rhyme in English. I just told a prose story. So, but I'm really impressed with the rhyming because, especially for young kids,
yes.
that helps with them understanding
And retention too.
retention, absolutely. And then they learn to read. If things rhyme, and as the finger goes across the page and they see these
Yes.
things that rhyme, they start putting things together. And sometimes you spell it differently, but hey, it sounds the same. So anyway, it helps with language learning. I was looking at this book for my audience, preschool, kindergarten, even up to like fourth grade.
Yeah,
Kids can
yeah.
benefit from it for social studies,
Yep.
reading, Spanish.
And also geographically, I feel sometimes, which is sad because sometimes our school system is not so great. And you come from Romania, it's different. I come from Mexico. I feel sometimes outside the US we get more like a perspective of the world
A
that
worldview, yeah.
sometimes, yes, I guess I see the big difference. And sometimes I feel kids that are growing up in the US, they don't get that worthly surrounding. So I have to do
Hmm.
double work at home. It,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
baby, that is this continent. No, honey, this is that. Whoa, that's far away. That's this, that's that. And showing, I'm like, didn't you learn that in school? It's like, no. And I'm like, oh, there's when I come. I'm a teacher.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. We are teachers to our to our children,
exactly.
absolutely. Um, so this is the first adventure, right? This is the first book in the
Yes.
series. What's next?
Well, hopefully more adventures. Definitely kind of this obviously niche, bilingual with rhymes. Like I said, hopefully very soon there's gonna be that YouTube channel where people can follow us. It's all about great values, society, just re-teaching to our new um audiences, kids, new generations, what
Hmm.
was back then, the nice values and little things that sometimes we take granted, but I feel like right now it's very much needed.
Yes, and I just love how you've taken something that can feel intimidating, um, like language learning,
Mm-hmm.
and you've turned it into this fun project that, parents that are a little bit more comfortable, they could read to their children.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they could just sit there and read the English and maybe pick out one or two words, on the thing, and
Yes.
they can recognize the colors, azul,
Yeah,
and
it's a simple book, and
yeah.
that's what I wanted to make it, not intimidated.
Hmm.
There were some people that, funny enough, they just feel, oh, but it's in Spanish. No, it's bilingual, and that's the whole thing. I want the both languages to make it flow, to not make it intimidated, to make it, oh, so this is azul, or that's the kind. Oh, this is Mexico, and they have this. Oh, they come from here. Because also geographically, I kind of put it in a very simple way. Kangaroos, maybe sounds cliche, but Australia, they're known for koalas and kangaroos.
Right.
but, it's the first step of what's out there in the world. And you'll be surprised. Even some older people, they don't know something that is basic for us, right? They're like,
Yeah.
wait,
I'm
there's koalas in
Yeah,
Australia?
I was a little surprised in the beginning when I first got here, and then years and years into it, I started writing a column for this local newspaper, and I gave examples of things people said to me, like, "Oh, you went to Denmark. So is Denmark one of the islands in Germany or a city in Germany?" And I'm like, "Oh no, what do I say? This is a teacher in the local high school, you know." Or somebody said, "Oh, you're from Romania. I have a friend who's from Costa Rica. Is that close to Romania?" And I was like, oh no, what do I say? What do I say?
Yeah,
And
and
so
you
I
don't want
wrote,
to be mean. I totally get it. One time I said
yeah.
I'm from the Congo, and this girl believed me, and I'm like, ay,
Are you
señores.
serious?
Exactly. You're laughing. I was laughing because they wouldn't believe all the stuff that I was saying about Mexico. They thought, I lived in I mean, now I guess with social media, they're like, oh, Mexico City is so cool, which is surprising to me, but it's always been like that forever. Now it's just cool because it's in social media. But I'm like, before then, they'd be like, but you ride donkeys, or you're like, I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, but the whole point here is just to, you know, have everybody come together, have fun time while reading it, make it easy, and just make languages flow.
Yeah, yeah. Because at the end of the day, AI can translate for us, but there's so much that needs to happen on a human level
Oh, yeah.
to manipulate the translation that the AI is putting forth for you. And diplomacy, communication between countries, multilingual corporations will always need a human interpreter, a human translator. So I've always said, and the trend here is for the universities that have foreign language departments to shrink their seats available for children. I saw that for a local university here in Tennessee, in Cookeville, Tennessee Tech. And it was actually in their paper announcing their French department is going to be reduced. And I'm thinking, yeah, AI is killing these things. And then I thought, but they still need a few. They still need
No,
a few.
I think there's nothing yet. The human, the brain of the human, the empathy of a human. I don't think a robot still can do it because that's one of the things that I want to create, the empathy. That a robot is a robot. Yeah, you can might know everything that is all put into the internet, but really creating that empathy and connection, I think we're not there yet, and I hope it doesn't get there.
Yeah, I hope so too. But the your job will not be taken by AI. If you're in language learning and language interpreting and translation, your job will be taken by somebody who can take the translation done by the AI and refine it better than you. So you better be good at it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. True.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, Fernanda. I really appreciate you taking the time from your busy schedule to come and
No,
promote your
thank
book.
you so much. Thank you for sharing with your audience. This means a lot. This has been a journey, like, a mom also being at home with her kids and just, taking a leap in faith, I guess, and just going through the world because it could be scary with a new project and being like, okay, let's hope other moms like it. But thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share and for giving me the space to talk and share.
My pleasure. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with other homeschool parents. You never know who needs this on their homeschool journey.
Absolutely. And also, maybe they can follow us because we're doing various events and gatherings and book readings. So always keep in touch. We're on social media by Patchy Raccoon. So make sure to follow us.
Okay. And we'll put
Thank
some of those
you.
links in the show notes.
Oh,
You're
you're
welcome.
so
Thank
kind.
you for
Thank you so
coming.
much. Thank you.